Welcome back to A Man in a Sea of Lies. Today's video is about our crushing deficits and debt. Our combined federal and provincial government's debt is almost $2.5 trillion. This, of course, doesn't include any personal debt or unfunded liabilities of our institutions and crown corporations and the like. Our debt to GDP ratio is about 110 to 150% of GDP right now. It's important to remember that GDP includes government spending. And it is significant because government spending doesn't produce wealth, except maybe when government builds infrastructure. Now, servicing all this debt costs us about $100 billion a year. Now, think about it for a minute. $100 billion going to investors. This really is delayed taxation and a big transfer of wealth to wealthy investors from the working class. So our consolidated Canadian government expenses total about $1.2 trillion. So 100 billion is a huge chunk of that. Government is not a debt is not a loan that's eventually paid off. It's more of a line of credit when you only pay interest. So there is no light at the end of this tunnel. We're just digging a deeper and deeper hole for ourselves here. Like I said, government borrowing, it's not like the government is taking out a loan. They issue treasury notes and bonds, and these pay a fixed rate of interest every 6 months until maturity. They also issue treasury bills. No regular interest payments are made on these, but they're sold at a discount to their face value. So your yield is the difference between the low price you paid and the full face value you receive at maturity. So it's like writing a IOU for $100 and selling it for 80. There are also treasury inflation protected securities where interest is paid every 6 months, but the principal amount increases with inflation, meaning interest payments can grow over time, which is digging even a bigger hole for ourselves. Now, this is a real problem affecting future generations and our future prosperity. What bothers me is that we normalized it. I guess everybody does it, so it's okay. But just because everybody else does it doesn't mean that's the right thing to do. Now, what really gets to me is that our media hardly mentions this. It's just another example of our media glossing over a very important topic. So they're not doing their job again. They're like playing ball for the same team as our governments instead of criticizing them. The money itself is a big problem, but the real problem is that governments set the tone for the rest of society and especially businesses. This is short term thinking designed to appease voters today. It lacks vision and long term strategy. Now, businesses and investors are looking at this and scratching their heads. Out of fear of inflation and economic collapse, they tend to maximize profits today and shore up reserves instead of planning for long-term future. This, of course, drives inflation and government debt further, and the circle kind of continues. Now, the media ignores all of this, and it's sort of become par for the course. So we're not paying attention to this at all, and until it's one day, it's just gonna be too late, and it's all gonna come crashing down on us. That's what I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, and so long.